quick marketing tips, and it's usually derived from questions that have been asked again and again. So instead of answering that same question, I just put it on an audio, and then that way, if anybody asks me a question, I just share that information with them.
Do you have the router?
Tommy,
The router.
I was like, Tommy,
The router.
You're awesome. So you should do a podcast. Of course, Tommy takes it and runs with it. So Tommy's podcast is very impressive. But
My podcast was started because Robyn told me you should do a podcast. And I said, okay. And she told me that about 3 or 4 times. And then finally I did a podcast. And I had never listened to a podcast before I did my own. So the way I went about doing a podcast was I approached it like it was a radio show, a talk show, talk radio. And so that's kind of the flavor of mine. My podcast is called the Ask Dr. Tommy Show. And what it is it's evolved into, it started off as being like your typical doctor show where you know, call in maybe, or someone approach me in the street. Yeah, what should I do about that? You know, or should I have treatment for my diabetes or not? And then it evolved into be more what my interests are, which is more related to culture, which is more related to philosophical issues. So it's got a tinge of health, it's got a tinge of business, it's got a tinge of culture, but overall, it is the Ask Dr. Tommy Show. It reflects what I am interested in, and thankfully, what some of my audience is interested in. So that's the way I approached it. So our reason for doing this is to bring podcasting to you. The reason why is because I think everyone out there has a story they can tell. Okay? So whether it's about rescues, we have our first learner was a person who was interested in doing dog rescue and cat and pet rescue. So that is what her passion was, so she's going to start that, okay? There's other things that you could do. You could do anything you want. So that's the reason we did this, is to show you in one fell swoop how to start a podcast from an equipment standpoint, editing it, and then also publishing it, meaning putting it on the internet. And so today when you leave, you will be able to do that. You can actually do that today. I'm going to cover the basics of it, and if there's any questions, please interrupt me, and then we can answer it, and maybe something else that someone else had a question about as well. Do we have paper for notes? Does anybody need paper for notes?
no, just a computer.
Okay. Well, feel free to take notes on your computer or otherwise interrupt me. I'm going to go ahead and start with saying...
Oh, and you'll get a follow-up ebook on this as well. So I have one that shows screenshots. So we'll walk through it, and Tommy will kind of go through it, and I'll be hovering, because we put the pretty person up front.
Yeah.
The pretty person that's really technically savvy and knows everything.
That's funny.
And I just hover by.
That's funny.
But yeah, so you'll get an ebook emailed to you that'll have all the screenshots and everything. So just if you need a refresher for it. Now, what do you say about that? You'll have everything, and hopefully it'll answer all your questions as well.
So if you don't mind, I want to go around and quickly introduce everybody, and then tell us who you are and what you're interested in as far as podcasting, and maybe what your goals are, okay? I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm Dr. Tommy McElroy. I'm a sports and family medicine physician. I have a practice called Echelon-Health. And the reason I did the podcast was, like I said, because I wanted to share the word about the things I'm interested in. And the major reason I did it was to draw traffic to my website, which it has done successfully. That's the major reason that we do it for businesses, to draw traffic, to create you as an expert in your field, whether you are or not. You could fake it till you make it, right? Robyn?
Robyn Hatfield, just small business Tampa. I started my podcast because I got asked the same questions again and again, and I wanted to be able to send that to people very quickly and be able to answer questions for them on the fly, and just put email to file.
I'm Tracy, I'm the phone coordinator and nurse at Echelon-Health, and I'm here because I do co-host with Tommy occasionally, but I have no idea how to work any of the equipment.
But she is a good host because her podcasts become popular, as do Robyn's. So that's another thing you'll see is different topics draw different audiences, different guests draw different audiences, and you'll be surprised at the response you get if you have guests. Mark?
I'm Mark. I'm a computer IT consultant. This is my house. I run my business out of that office over there. And I was actually friends with Tommy before he even actually got to where he was when he was going through school and stuff. So.
Yep.
And I go to his fit club. And he's hosting the party. I'm eager to see what Tommy has to present here.
And Mark is a specialist in all things IT. So if you have any questions about how to integrate it with your own website or start your own domain and go ahead and do it separately from your website or however Mark's the guy to help. Julie?
I'm Julie Phillips, and I used to be the lead computer person for Verizon, and I believe I'd be dead of cancer over 15 years ago if a prayer hadn't led me to natural health. So I have been educating and empowering people and coaching people for free for over 15 years. I own We Offer Wellness Wow Simplified, including the best drinking water and optimal weight. And I'm going to do a joint podcast with a holistic veterinarian, people and pets, total wellness.
Awesome.
That's great.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Youssef. Actually, I've been, I'm doing primary care. I have an urgent care practice as well, and been a bit of a fan of Tommy's for quite some time. He doesn't know that because, he's done some concierge medicine for years now, and I've been doing traditional medicine, and been lately thinking about, doing my concierge, but podcasting has been something that I've been listening to on, heading to work, back from work, at home. I've got a few favorite podcasters that I kind of listened to over the years, and basically wanted to kind of create a sort of a web presence where people can come and listen to some topics of discussion such as, bioidentical hormone therapy, rejuvenation, also some weight loss options, diabetes care, hypertension, and get some information, listen to me talk, and again, also leading me towards, also considering concierge medicine in the future too, and how I can utilize that in my practice. So, again, appreciate the chance to find out more information, and my goal is to just learn about the podcasting and have one or two podcasts out. That's my first initial plan.
Great idea. That's perfect.
Very cool. I'm Alex. I want to podcast because I go to a lot of wine, a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants, and I said, you know what, I better make this profitable, how much I actually go to it. So I had a great idea with these podcasts to talk about my passions, which are small business, drinking a lot of wine, and sports, athletics. So mine's going to kind of encompass, so it's Pinot, Passion, and Profit. So encompass interviewing Pinot. Like Pinot Noir, passion and profit. So encompassing things that people are passionate about, people enjoy, and then profitability behind it while drinking wine. So.
I'm Chris Meyer. I'm here for two reasons. I work for Unbehagen Advisors. We're a small business tax, accounting, insurance, and investments, mostly geared towards the tax side of everything. So what I told my boss when I told him that I was just retired from Verizon, ex-Verizon, IT.
Yes, I was in data services.
Yeah, I was the finance liaison to IT. That's why I was always at the tech center. And
Small world.
yeah, it is. So anyway, when I retired from Verizon, I got into an old passion, which I used to be a singer. So I started a company called Talk and Sing Voice Talent. And I was going to do podcasting off of that, and just pretty much a self-promotion to get my business started and up and running. And then when I thought I was out of accounting, they pulled you
back in.
Back in the
yeah.
vacuum.
So I told the boss, in order to be able to say, I'm working for you. I told him I was going to do some podcasting.
That's awesome.
Basic topics of what's happening in the IRS and taxes, and just try to set up 5-minute podcasts.
That'll do well.
Just something really short, just a series of things as they come out from the IRS. We'll get them out there quickly, and hopefully that'll spread the news and the message. I also belong to Florida Podcasters
Association
with Chris. And,
yep.
I'm the Messenger's contributor, and so really want to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can about the, I can already do some Audacity stuff like that, but I'm also going to want to eventually incorporate video into it too. So.
Do you know the Digital Marketing Minute, which is it's done by Alex Rodriguez?
No,
That's a good one to listen to because it's kind of like yours. It's going to be short, to the point, 5 minutes, 1 minute.
Yeah.
That'll do well.
Okay.
Digestible.
Yeah, because who wants to read through that stuff? If somebody can summarize it for me, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we're only going to give them one thing at a time. because taxes are not sexy. I mean, nobody's going to actually go there on purpose and want to just listen to it for an hour. It's just not going to happen. But you might take 5 minutes out of your day to say, okay, what is, and we're going to have them in a series so that they can say, no, I haven't seen this one, or, you know, the new, what is it, the FLSA, the Federal Labor Standards Act that's coming up where you have to pay overtime to people who are, quote, salaried exempt. That's going to be, yeah, in fact, that's going to be my theme at the expo.
That's a great one. That's a great one to hit, because I think
Educate
small business
people,
owners
because
don't have any idea that.
It's coming December 1st. You know, a lot of people are thinking taxes and that kind of stuff, well, I'll wait till next year. It's December 1st because Obama wanted to get it in before he's out.
Okay, so who has not had Audacity on their computer? Everyone has Audacity. Great.
I installed it last night.
Perfect.
I'm going to give you a side note, by the way.
Yes.
Tommy, if you have video questions, he's awesome at video as well. Kind of, it's irritating that he's
Use
awesome at
Adobe?
that as well, but he is.
I have not used Adobe, but I know that's a Premiere version, and there's a Premiere level. There's also one that I'm familiar with called Reaper. Reaper's available for download for trial for 60 days, and it is comparable, believe it or not, to Pro Tools. So Reaper's one to,
I've got Final Cut Pro
yes.
on a Mac.
So I'm going to go ahead and start with show you what my podcast looks like, and it's not coming up for some reason. So for those of you who don't know, podcasts, you can put those on the internet, or you have to put those on the internet in order to host them. So hosting, mine is hosted on SoundCloud, and SoundCloud is a podcasting, or a hosting site, which is more based on music. Robyn probably has a better idea. She started hers on Libsyn, which is more directed towards the podcasting community, and it's probably a better idea. But since mine started there, I just had to go ahead and go with it. So it's kind of like, you know, you start off with one thing and you just have to keep going. So I'm just going to go ahead and play so you hear what mine sounds like, and I'll give you an idea of what my podcast sounds like. Oops. Oh, let me see. Oh, that's why it's playing through this.
Anybody want to take notes?
I'm taking electronic notes, so if anybody wants them when I'm done, I'll be happy to give them.
She'll charge you $5 for the machine.
So I'm just going to play the intro to my podcast. This is what mine sounds like.
Now it's time for the Ask Dr. Tommy Show. Health news, opinion, and insight from present channels, concierge, medicine physician.
It'll be fine.
McElroy.
It'll soak in.
And thank you for joining us today. This is the Ask Dr. Tommy Show.
So mine starts off with an intro. So the first thing you want to consider is, it's all right, Robyn, it'll soak in. It's not going to get to the TV.
This is a way that patients can pay for medical care from a physician.
So mine starts off with an intro, and then it has music associated with the intro, and then I go into the body of my podcast. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to do that. So we're going to open up Audacity. Now, does everyone have a microphone? Okay. So if you'll go ahead and get your microphone plugged in and your Audacity running, we're going to go ahead and record an intro, okay? Let me know when everyone's up. That was a waste of coffee. The music that I use for my intro, I actually got from a license, it's called royalty-free music. And if you're a member of, or if you're on Facebook, if you go to Podcasting for Small Biz, I have put, every time I find something that is of interest to me, I usually put the link on it. And so that's a good website for you to look at, Podcasting for Small Biz on Facebook. And then, like I said, the royalty-free music link that I use to get my music is on that Facebook site, okay? So what we'll do now is I'm going to record a intro. And I'm going to record somebody's intro that's here in the office, or here in the thing. So Julie, tell me about your business. What's your podcast going to be about?
The podcast is
Yeah, just a brief, like, quick 2 sentences what it's going to be about.
People and Pets Total Wellness with Dr. Marlene and Coach Julie.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about wellness for animals as well as humans and similarities and differences and teach people how bodies work.
Very good. That sounds interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and record that. So does everybody can see my thing? So here's what you're going to do. In Audacity, this little red button's a record button, okay? Here's the other thing. If you click on this, click for monitoring. Oops, I unplugged my microphone. I have a Yeti Pro. I'm sorry, I have a Yeti, Blue Yeti, not a Yeti Pro. One of the best features of this is it's got a zero latency headset so that you can hear yourself talk and you can hear your guest if you have a guest that calls in. So check 1 2, check 1 2. So I can hear myself now and I can adjust the gain as needed. And I'm going to leave the gain there because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click up here. If you see the top says click for start monitoring, click that. Hello, check 1 2. And it's not monitoring. Check 1 2, check 1 2. So this, okay, it's monitoring now. Okay, sometimes when you plug in your microphone, it doesn't pick it up. So what you do is you go up here to transport and you say rescan audio devices, okay? That will make sure that your audio device is there. Okay, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you about Audacity is where your microphone is indicated here. So I have several different microphones I can use. So up here at the top toolbar it says Rode Yeti. That is a combination microphone that I made that combines 2 microphones into one. I have a Rode mic and I have a Yeti mic. I combined them with Apple's, the only way you can do it, so it may not even apply to you, but you can combine 2 mics into one and make one mic through your USB. You cannot do that with Windows. Anyway, I'm not going to use a Rode Yeti because I don't have the Rode part, I just have the Yeti. So what I'll do is I'm going to drop down here to Yeti stereo microphone, okay? It's recording in 2 channels. You can make it record in 1 if you want. I usually record in 2, even though it mixes it down to 1 when you export it in MP3. So again, I'm going to rescan because I unplugged it. I just always like to make sure my microphone's where it's supposed to be. So I rescan that, and then I'll click to start monitoring, click over here, check 1 2. I'm going to change that because I don't like the way that looks. Check 1 2. That looks better to me. So that's my feedback. It shows me exactly how my voice is being transmitted right now. Combined meter. This is not the one I want. So let me do this one. Check 1 2. So I'm just going in here to view and toolbars. I like to have the recording meter and the playback meter. That's what I'm used to. Okay, that's what I'm used to. So here we go. Okay, so this is me. I'm not recording it. I'm going to record it now. So I'm going to record an intro, okay? So I'm going to go up here to record. Now you see it's recording, okay? Now I'm talking, so I don't want that in the intro. So if you want something out of there, just stop, X, boom. Okay, it's gone. So I'm going to start again. You're listening to Health and Wellness with Julie Phillips and Dr. Marlene. So here we go. So now we have the intro, okay? So I'm going to go play that. You won't be able to hear it very well, but I'll go ahead and play it.
You're listening to Health and Wellness with Julie Phillips and Dr. Marlene.
Okay, so that's the Julie Phillips intro. Now I'm going to record the outro, okay? So if you want to record something if you have something recorded already and you're recording more on it, so like if you take a break or you stop the recording, this is very important. Go up to here to the toolbar, click this thing that's going to fast forward to the end of your current clip, okay? Because if I start it again without doing that, it would record over it. Then you could just go back and delete that part you recorded, which is the beauty of this. It records on multiple tracks, but you don't want to record over something repeatedly because then it wastes time. The key to a great podcast is to record it like you were live. Record it so that you have one blooper, an intro and outro, and cut for commercials if you do that. If you do that, you'll save yourself a lot of time. You have to mentally go into it thinking, I'm going to have one mistake, and then try not to even have that one mistake. Then you'll save yourself a lot of time. The best podcasts are the ones that are produced in serials. The most popular podcasts, one of the most popular podcasts is E on Fire. Jolie Dumas does that. Jolie Dumas records 8 hours on one day. He puts out podcasts every day. The reason he does that is because the more podcasts he puts out, the more revenue he has, and then therefore the more audience he has. I put out about 3 a week, 2 to 3, but I always have about 5 in the can that I can pull out if I need them. If I don't have interviews coming up, then I pull out one I've already done, okay? The reason to do that is I don't have to really publicize my podcast anymore. I just put them up, I publicize them here and there, but they have a life of their own now. They always get the same amount of plays. They'll get a little bit more plays if I publicize them, but anyway, that's beyond it. So I'm going to record the outro.
Do you want them to try to do a quick intro to see?
Sure.
While they do it with you, does everyone want to do a quick intro? It doesn't have to be the final cut, because obviously you can probably hear background noise, but that way you can play around with it.
Because then while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up the music, okay?
So if you're going to hit the record button and just record something, whatever you want. Everybody know what the record button and the red dot?
You're listening to People in Pets Total Wellness with Dr. Marlene and Coach Julie.
Let's hear your pretty voice, Chris.
Yeah.
Sing to it. Sing it.
Hello, this is Chris Meyer with Unbehaving Advisors, your tax advisor and counselor.
Listening to People in Pets Total Wellness with Dr. Marlene and Coach Julie. That wasn't coming through my mic. Couldn't you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
How do I just unplug and
Rescan your device. And then make sure on the recording part up here, where is your honest? See here? This is speaker.
Okay.
And then you go to USB headset. See?
Okay.
Now it should play back in your ears.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tommy.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you're familiar with this mic. I want to make sure the rest of the mic can't tell. Yeah. So mine is like.
Okay, so the Rode mic, so you have a Rode mic. So is it
Yeah.
powered?
I don't know.
It's
I
not
don't think
powered. So the key for this
Okay.
one is to start monitoring to make sure it's
Okay.
check 1, 2. Okay, let me stop this. Delete that. So microphone 2. So I'm gonna say rescan devices. Oops. Okay, microphone 2, high definition. Not sure if that's that one or not.
It's I haven't tested it or anything, so I put it in. Did I put it in the right place?
Where's the volume? I already did
It should
this.
say built-in input.
How do I make it louder with these?
Okay, on your mic, is the mic allowed?
In here.
Microsoft Sound Wrapper.
Thank you. I didn't notice that.
You know what? We can fix it later, but for now, just record it on whatever it is, because it is recording on something.
It is.
Check 1, 2. It may not even be.
Dr. Jonathan Youssef, Medical Minute.
Okay, let's do this. Actually,
No, you're
What
right.
is this for?
That, I think, is to
check
connect.
1, 2.
I know
Unplug
where
it. See if it's still
my other
recording.
one, I had
Check
to
1,
do
2.
this,
Check 1, 2.
so-
No, it was actually using it. Okay, good.
It's still
So it was
loud
recording through that
enough. I
mic.
guess I'll, well, that's as loud as it goes.
And that's the playback and that's the record. So you can go louder and record if you want. Just
So it
make
was
sure
actually recording through that mic.
I see.
So go to transport,
And you can X out if you need to.
rescan audio devices. And
I'm
then
gonna re-record.
so
and
click.
re-record right over that one. Right?
Okay.
You just X out.
Check 1, 2. Okay, grab your mic. Okay, now then go up to here and hit the red button.
Awesome.
Hi, this is Dr. Jonathan Youssef with the Medical Minute.
Now hit stop. Perfect. Now play back.
Hello, you're listening.
So you go to
Pets
hit,
Total
go to back.
Wellness with Dr. Marlene and Coach Julie.
That sounds good. All right. Everybody got their intro recorded? Now we're going to record an outro, okay? So the outro is just when you leave your podcast saying where to find your podcast, and then just to basically tell your audience that there's more coming and how to locate you and for more information, that type of thing. So my outro sounds like this. And my outro is done by a friend of mine, so it's not me talking. And I think that sounds better to me, is when it's not you doing it. For me. Now, not for everybody. For me, I think it sounds better when there's somebody else doing it. That's just my... So... I'll just go up to the... So here's my outro.
Time for the Ask Dr. Tommy Show, featuring health news.
And then those other territories you talked about.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again for coming on, and look forward, maybe we can talk again.
Can you hear
in the
it?
future. I'd like to talk about, you talked about developing a culture, and that's an important thing for businesses. And maybe that's something we could talk about in the future, is how to develop a good culture from a human resources standpoint for small businesses.
I would love to come back, Tommy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paula, and for all of you out there listening, if you would like to hear more of the Ask Dr. Tommy Show, health and business news and insight, please go to AskDrTommy.com. You can listen on iTunes, Ask Dr. Tommy Show, and until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today. For more show news and information, go to AskDrTommy.com, and be sure to follow Dr. Tommy on Facebook at Echelon-Health and on Twitter at Tampa Direct Care. To learn more about Echelon-Health Concierge Medicine Practice, visit Echelon-Health online at Tampa Direct Care.
So let's record an outro where you say where to find more about your podcast. So I'm going to record Julie's, okay? So just record. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check. Oops. Oh, I unplugged it. But anyway, you can go ahead and record your own. I'm just going to record Julie's, but I'll show you what I would do for just a quick one for Julie. Check 1 2. Oops. Check 1 2. Oops. Check 1 2. Oops. So always, if you're having trouble getting your mic, go up there and rescan it. Check 1 2. 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 Worst case scenario, you can just start a new one. So I'm gonna drop that one down. We'll start a new one. You can leave it open. So I'm gonna record a new one. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Okay. To hear more about pets and wellness with Dr. Marlene and Julie Phillips, go to petsandwellness.com. I don't know, that was just something. Anyway, so here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put some music to this, okay? So what I'll do is I'm going to go and use one of my music files that I already have pulled up. And so what I'm going to do is go to open.
Hey, Tommy, can you shrink your screen so we can't see what you're clicking on?
Oh, okay. You mean make my screen bigger? Oh.
Shrink the...
Make it bigger?
What are you trying to shrink?
Zoom?
See which one he's going into.
Want me to zoom?
Oh, I see what's
Yeah.
top. They can't see the file in it.
Oh,
they
I
can't
see.
see that piece of it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm in full screen mode.
How do I get a F11?
I'm gonna try right click on that button here. At the top. Should be an option there.
This has been Chris Myers, I'm the Hagen Advisor, your tax advisor.
Hmm.
Do you record?
Well, y'all go ahead and work on recording your outro, and I'm going to bring up the music, okay?
Tony, will you show them your website where they can get access to that too?
Mhm.
You have Ask Dr. Tommy with resources. I think that's really cool. I don't know.
So my website is AskDrTommy.com. And if you go to podcasters, is that what you're talking about, Robyn?
Yeah, and where you have the resources, so in case you don't know where to get music. It took me forever to find it. He was like, oh yeah, I have it on my website. I'm like, of course you do.
Oh, actually, those are on the Facebook site.
Oh, okay.
But Facebook, podcasting for small biz. So podcasting for small biz, anytime I find things that are interesting, I put them on here. And so one of the things I posted was about royalty-free music. And that's where I actually got my music from. Royalty-free music. That's Shutterstock. I don't think that's where I got it. I got it from here. This is where I got my current royalty-free music. It doesn't mean it's free. It just means that every time you play it, you don't have to pay for it. So this is where I got mine.
pdinfo.com and it has / royalty-free-music. pdinfo?
Yep.
pdinfo.com.
Let me make that smaller. Oops. So has everyone got able to record an intro? Does anybody need help recording intro?
I got the intro. I tried to do the exit. It threw another track in there and it won't let me work it.
Robyn, you want to help them? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put music onto my intro, okay?
Yeah.
Tracy, will we get that door?
But even when I come down here, I can't do anything on this to the,
Podcast. Hey, how are you?
Good, I'm sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Hey, how are you? Great. Good. Where would you like me to go? Oh, right there's the seat. Okay, thanks.
So,
I'm good. I didn't bring my computer. I can just watch.
yes, ma'am. All right, I'm going to use a... Did you get it figured out, Robyn, with Chris?
I think it's the application itself is locking up, and I think it's because of bad thing on the computer, not necessarily.
Okay. Okay, guys. I want to show you how to put music onto to overlap music with your outro or intro, okay? So here's how you'll do it. You have to have music first, so if you don't have it, that's okay. You just have to get it later. I'm going to use the music which is already in my Mac library because it's included. You can download music, you can record your own music. What you shouldn't do is use popular music without permission because then you can run into legal problems. But anyway, this is how you get it. So I'm going to go in here in the file. I'm going to import audio. Okay, can you see that or is that cut off? Let me make it smaller. Whoops.
It still cuts off the top.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Say what drop down menu, I guess.
Zoom out, fit vertically. Finder. Mark, do you know how I could get the find view? It happened when I did it to the big screen.
Are you looking for import audio?
No, yeah. I mean, if you can find it.
File command.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it to where you guys can see what I'm doing because it's cutting off the.
Over to the top left.
Yeah, I
and
think you can
halfway
see
down
on
the
his.
pull down.
He can see that.
He can see it on his, he just can't put it on the screen.
Can everybody see it? As long as you can see it, that's all I care about.
No, but that's okay. If you just say it.
Okay, so go to File, and then drop down to Import, and then go to Audio. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm already got. I'm going to go to my audio file where I have it already saved. So I have a series of things saved here. So audio. So here's one called Yearbook Short, which is kind of a nice little jingle. This is actually what I use for my bumper music. And so here it is. It's nice and long. So I'm going to play it first, but I just want to hear the music so I don't know which part I'm going to use because I don't need all of that necessarily. I might though because it's got a tail and a front, so it might work out good. Okay, but I just want to play it, but I don't want to hear this other part because if I play it right now, it's going to play both of them. So I'll go over here and I'll hit, you can either mute this one or hit solo on this one. I'm just going to hit solo. Okay, so you see it drop that one out? So now I'm going to play it, okay? All right, so that sounds pretty good. I'm just going to leave it intact. I'm not even going to cut it, but I want to see how it sounds. I know it sounds too loud, so I'm going to play it with both of them, but I'm going to drop it down a little bit. So you see this little guy here? I'm going to drop the decibels down by 7, okay? Let's see how that sounds. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, play it.
You're listening
So it's still too loud. I'm gonna drop it even more. I'm gonna drop it down to 22. Negative 22, 23. Now I'm gonna play it again, okay?
You're listening to Health and Wellness with Julie Phillips and Dr. Marley.
Okay, that's too low, so I'm gonna play with it a little bit. I'm gonna put it at negative 16. All right, one more time. Maybe I got it now, okay?
You're listening to Health and Wellness with Julie Phillips and Dr. Marley.
Perfect. So I'm gonna leave it that way. That's gonna be my intro. I'm gonna save that as my intro. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to File, I'm gonna go to Export Audio, and then I'm gonna title it. I'm gonna title it Health and Wellness. Health and Wellness. And then I'm just gonna export. Now, if you have downloaded Audacity, right now, if you export it will not work. It'll say you need to have something called LAME, which is a program. I have it right here on this thing. So we can do that later. But right now, if you export it, it won't allow you to export it. You have to have this file that's called LAME, and I have it right here on this thing. You could actually download it now if you want to, but for the sake of just moving along, we'll just leave it at this. So I'm going to export it, MP3, save, and I'm going to save it. I'm actually going to save it on this little guy. No, I'll save it on my Ask Dr. Tommy. So, okay, I'm going to save Health and Wellness and save, boom. Okay, it's going to mix it, okay, it's going to mix it down, and now clear that. I don't care about, this is later on when you publish your podcast. You'll put all the names and stuff in it. So, it should be exporting. Usually it'll tell me if it's exporting.
Is there a place they can go to get a music file so they can test that, what you just did?
Yeah, if you want to try.
Even if it's stuff that they can't use later, but.
Actually, if they want to, I can put that one I just did on this.
Okay. That's a great idea. So just the music files,
Mm-hmm.
play around with it.
But let me see if that one saves. So I'm going to open that MP3. Health and Wellness.
Dr. Merlin was wanting to use some music with words. Would it be better maybe to do just the music without its words?
It's up to you.
Slow things down?
It's up to you. The thing you have to make sure is you don't use music that you have to pay for, because then you'll get in trouble. So I'm going to open up the MP3, because there it is, okay? I found it. Open it. That's the MP3. This is a combined version, okay?
You're listening to Health and Wellness with Julie Phillips and Dr. Marley.
All right, now that's the intro. To do an outro, you just do the same thing, and then you put an outro. I want to make a podcast now, okay? So I'm going to have Julie come over here and tell me what her podcast is about and do a short little thing. And then we're going to combine it.
Do I need to bring this or no?
Nope.
Tommy, does the audio file have to be a specific type of file?
Check 1, 2. It's got to be an MP3.
MP3.
Unless it's on Mac and it's that CAF, which I'm not even sure what that stands for, but that works.
But you save it as Audacity and you save it as MP3 so you can go back and.
I save it always as both Audacity and MP3, at least until I've made the finished product. Then you can wipe out the Audacity one if you'd like. Do you want to put the earphones on or not? It doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yep. So just record a little segment. And when you're recording, you can tell about how close you should be to the mic, but I'm usually about this far from my mic. Chris is obviously professional. He could tell us more about it, and so is Brenda. But go ahead and go to your record button. It's right there.
Just tell you what my podcast is?
Well, you just pretend like you're doing a podcast, just a demo.
Hello, this is Julie Phillips in Tampa Bay with People and Pets Total Wellness with Dr. Marlene and Coach Julie. We're going to teach you about the wellness aspects of animals versus humans, how they're similar and how they're different.
Okay, now stop it. Just hit on that little box. Yep. Okay. You can have a seat. I'm going to show you how to clip off that back part that we don't need. Thank you, Julie. So Julie has recorded let's say the body of the podcast. Let's say that's the whole podcast, okay? So I'm going to play it back.
Phillips in Tampa Bay with People and Pets Total Wellness with Dr. Marlene and Coach Julie. We're going to teach you about the wellness aspects of animals versus humans, how they're similar and how they're different.
Okay, that's the end of it. Okay, I'm gonna bump up the volume. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna bring it up 6 or 7.
Hello, this is Julie Phillips in Tampa Bay
So
with
you try to get to around -6. That's optimal level. Okay, so I'm gonna bump it up a little bit more.
And Tommy, show them where the -6 should be.
So -6 is right there. Can you see it? -6 is right there. That's optimal. Going above that's a little too loud. A little below it, maybe not loud enough. So I'm going to go start over and play it again.
Hello, this is Julie Phillips in Tampa Bay with People and Pets Total Wellness with Dr. Marlene and Coach Julie. We're going to teach you about the wellness aspects of animals versus humans, how they're similar and how they're different.
Okay, that's where her thing ends, okay? I'm going to get rid of all that stuff on the end when I was talking to her, okay? So, see this little thing here? I can't see what's back there. And I don't want to go scrolling around here on the bottom. So go up to this little minimize or minify, I guess opposite of magnify, and it can make your track smaller, okay? So that way you don't have to go scrolling around. Because I know it's after... Okay, so let's say when Julie was recording, it was like this, okay? And that's fine when you're recording along, you can see it. But when you're working on a file, you don't want to be monkeying around scrolling back and forth. So you just go down to here. I remembered that it was 17 seconds is when she ended up talking, finished talking. So go to this little magnifying glass that's got a minus, drop it until I get what I want in my field, okay? Now, you want to get rid of all this. We don't need this, okay? Go to the little bar, and Robyn has a very good book that she's going to send you that has all this. You go to this little bar, click on it. That is a selector for this, and you just wipe it out, okay? So you highlight it and you pull it across, and then you just hit delete. Boom. Okay? Works the same in Windows and Mac. Okay, so I have her, this is an Audacity file. This is recorded in Audacity, okay? I have her MP3 of her intro. I want to record her, I want to pull her intro in, okay? So I'm going to go to File. When you're importing clips, it has to be MP3. If I tried to import that Audacity file that we recorded, it'd tell me you can't import raw data. You have to open up something else, blah, blah, blah. So you have to have it when your working portion, like when I do a recording, I record Audacity, okay? I make everything, I record in Audacity, I edit in Audacity, and then when I have my main body, I export it to MP3, okay? I didn't do that yet here because I'm not worried about it, but for now, if you want to put in a MP3, I'm sorry, if you want to put an intro, it has to be an MP3, okay? So this is on the Audacity file. I'm going to go ahead and just import it MP3. And then I have to find it. So health and wellness is right here. Boom. All right. Open. Okay, see where it is? It's over where I need it to be, okay? I need this to start about right there. You see how that works? Because that's when the music ends. Or you have it overlapping with your music. Mine overlaps with the music a little bit. You can tell when she stopped talking or when I stopped talking because you see the magnitude of the waves. So here's what I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to go back here. I'm going to make it smaller again so I can work with it easier. Okay, I'm going to grab it. Okay, this is the grab tool.
What does it look like, Tom? Where is that?
The little back and forth. So that's the grab tool. Do you see it?
No.
It's right here. Okay, I'm sorry. It's so small. But it's this little guy. It's on the second level, and it looks like it goes back and forth. It's called the transport tool, I think. So
Time shift tool.
Time shift. Very good.
Time shift.
So I'm going to time shift this block over, okay? I think it's going to be about right there where I need it to be. I think that's where it's going to be. I'm going to test that, okay? So I'm going to go into here, backspace, and then I'm going to play it.
You're listening to Health and Wellness with Julie Phillips and Dr. Marlene.
Hello, this is Julie Phillips in Tampa Bay with People.
I think I want it a little bit longer, okay? I'm going to go ahead and drag it down here, okay, and play it again.
You're listening to Health and Wellness with Julie Phillips and Dr. Marley.
Hello, this is Julie Phillips.
It worked out pretty good.
Today with People and Pets.
Let's say-
Wellness with Dr.
At
Marlene.
some point, we should stop and let them do like
Yeah.
exactly what you did, yes.
Yeah, y'all want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah. Where can they get a music? Do you have music?
I'm going to put it on here.
Okay, so maybe that we can put the music on each of their computers real fast.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can play with moving it around and
Yep.
doing the intro and doing the body.
Yep.
That makes sense? What's going on, Chris?
No one else is eating it. Might as well.
Dr. Jonathan Yusuf with a medical minute. Let's discuss your
Can you try to take out one piece? Okay, so you want to try to, you know, I think, you can grab it. Tell me what you want.
I'm trying to move it to right here so I can hear what's at the end.
Oh, okay, click this, click this, click this.
I try to, every time I click this stupid thing is, huh?
That helps.
So the I cancels out whether.
The high just allows you to do a selection, and then you can do it. So when you click on it, if you played it there, it's on its own.
Here you go, Robin.
The music?
It's called backing music.
Huh?
It's called backing music, the file.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember if you put the name on my computer?
Yes,
You did.
I did.
Thought you probably did.
I did. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and put lame on there too.
Yeah, they are. It's on the thing. I had a class on the I probably have this. But I haven't had a chance to use it and I forgot.
This is the key in here, I guess. This is how you make it sound louder.
Yeah, but I think.
Do you need help?
I think. Did that work?
Yep.
Okay.
And so this is how you control it. And yes, it's solo
Yeah.
as if you want.
If you had multiple tracks, let's say, and you just wanted to hear the one, you'd either hit solo or mute the others.
If you want to, when you use the bars up here for sound, then what's the difference between over there and over there?
This will show you, that'll show you recording, but you can't tell the quality of it until you look over here. So if you click there, start monitoring, now you can see, hello, hello, hello. So you know you need to talk louder.
You want to be at -6.
Around -6 at your peak.
It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? You
Yeah.
can't be like 0 or something.
And the only reason I know that is from reading.
Yeah,
Where do you see
yeah.
the -6? I'm not sure.
Right there.
Oh, you want to go all the way up there?
Yep, so there's
And
two
it
ways
gets
you could do
red
it.
after that, doesn't
Check
it?
1 2, check 1
Yeah.
2.
See how it
Hello.
goes? Yeah.
There
So-
you
You
go.
can tell when
okay.
you're out of zone.
Now the other option is, let's say you record it and you never got up that high, then you amplify it. You can do it through this way or you can do it through edit, and that's a more advanced thing, and I could show you that later.
If you're recording with another person,
Mm-hmm.
and should you use one thing, or can you use headsets? What would
If
be
you're
the best
recording
for
with,
two people?
if 2 people, you have to go to a mixer if you're using Windows, or share a mic.
Okay,
I
so like a
recommend-
mic on a little
Yeah,
stand?
I recommend getting a Yeti mic and putting it on bidirectional if you're going to share it, but you have to make sure you're close enough.
Okay.
As long as you don't mind being like that.
Okay.
Okay, because you can't be like us.
Okay.
We're talking with the mic because it'll sound too distant.
That thing that's, is that for wind protection?
That's for whenever I'm talking. If I say pets, yeah,
It takes the what?
pop, p.
What about, the other thing is you can do Skype. If you-
Yes.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
And
I'm going to be having calls.
and that's a more advanced class, but the Skype is a great way to do it. Call in. I use Mac, so I use an eCam recorder. I used to use a Windows program, and I had a great interview, and it didn't record, and I abandoned it.
Oh, jeez.
I have no faith in it.
Well,
But
and you know,
Skype is good.
Skype works great. The one that I just played where those are all Skype.
but the other thing, when I did my class last night, I interviewed Robyn, and she was there. She was just in the next room, and we did it over Skype.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't even have to be apart, you know what I mean? You could do it either way,
Yeah, this is a Skype. All of my ones that aren't in the house are Skype. So the sound quality is excellent.
Yeah.
So this is Skype, Paula Matthews. She's in New Hampshire.
Your coffee, you're getting your coffee there.
And now it's time for the Ask Dr. Tommy
Well, I'll never be able to drink it.
opinion and insight from Wesley Chapel's
Ah.
physician.
So this is the lady in New Hampshire on her phone. So I'm talking to my Yeti. I'm hearing myself in my earphones. And then when she starts talking, I hear her through it too. And with the recorder I have, I can see that it's recording. The Windows one you can't. It just shows you time. It doesn't show you the amplitude. The one I use for Mac, it shows waves. I know what's happening.
Not only with medical, but how does all the benefits that they have fit in together, and how are they going to be affected by changes? And Paula Matthews is joining me, and she is a specialist in this and has over 30 years of experience in HR compliance. Paula, how are you doing today?
I'm doing terrific, Tommy. How about you?
So I called her phone.
You know, a lot of our
The other thing you can do is listen to this one. Now this one's amazing. She sounds better than I do. She's on Skype audio. Okay?
Oh, there's such a thing as Skype audio?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so you don't have to
Get
like
dressed up to make your phone.
get your hair all done.
Yeah, right.
So this is a Skype audio.
It's time for the Ask Dr. Tommy show.
Her mic actually sounds better than mine, even though it's inexplicable, but
It's a phone, right?
well
It's
she
not a mic.
well she's yeah. So
Oh,
here's me.
Tommy Show, and the Ask Dr. Tommy Show, we try to always bring you the latest and greatest and also the brightest in terms of people out there who are intellectuals in their field, whether it be fitness, whether it be health, whether it be medicine. And today I have the distinguished privilege of having Dr. Jenna Ellis, who is a professor of law.
Go to this little Minify button. The other one. It's right there. The one that has the minus. Stop it. Then hit the minus.
Yeah.
You see it? Right. Go over 2. There you go. Yep. Now click on it. Boom.
Okay, is there any way to make it smaller?
Yes. So go to View. Fit vertically.
Hey, Tommy, for Lane, do you have to have iTunes account for that?
No.
It was also a privilege to be on the show, and this is a topic that I've been teaching for the last few years.
What is it doing? Export?
Yeah, oh, I deleted it because they kept asking me for iTunes. I don't have iTunes on here. I think it's because it's the music. That would be, maybe it's where I export it.
Oh, maybe it's because I exported it from iTunes.
Yeah, I think it's,
Oh, those Apple people.
Understand Apple people.
Here, let me put mine on. Let me see that thing again. Once everyone gets it, I'm going to put on a different backing. I'll use mine that I have that I own. I'm going to turn that off. I think we're done with that, huh? Yeah, you think? Yeah, I'm just going to turn it off. I think we got enough to make it clip off.